We are in a recession, and I'm here to help. I'm the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resume. The resume we have up first is for a full-stack software developer. I do not know the country they are applying to, and to be clear, I am a U.S.-based recruiter. Sometimes my knowledge does not work outside the U.S., but what we're going to be looking for in a software engineer for full-stack specifically in the U.S. is TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, React.js, API, RESTful APIs, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, .NET, or Python, or Java, and a bonus points for architecture, extra language, Git, and DevOps. Did it in one. All right. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to... Whoop, wrong button. 20 seconds to find that stuff. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Let's go. All right. Summary is not needed. Skill section is not needed. Okay. Architect and scalable backend. Again, you don't tell me what it is. Design it full stack Vue.js. That's one thing I'm looking for. API, good too. Again, it's just Vue. And I already saw API and TypeScript and Cloud, which is fine. So that is not enough to pass. That is a problem. So this would, in fact, be yeeted into the trash. So could not find it in 20 seconds. So this person stated, the red color in the resume is just the placeholders. My actual resume is all in one color. That's good. Also, I cannot click on the red because it shows this person's name for some reason. So I cannot do that. I'm going to have to do like this to show you where the things are in the resume. I've been applying for a long time and haven't been able to even get to the interview stage. I've applied to like 1,000 jobs in the span of 3 to 4 months and only got to the interview stage for like 3 to 4 applications. Also, most of the rejection emails contain this part with, "We are impressed with your background and skills, however, we decided to go with other candidates who aligned with their skills." Yeah, that's a boilerplate. I mean, the fact is companies don't give a lot of feedback now because it opens them up to lawsuits. I'm not justifying whether that's correct or not. I'm just telling you that is why, so it's very rare to get any actual actionable feedback you can use from a company. Another thing to note is, so partly what I want to say before I finish reading that is, this is not a good resume. I'm expecting this person to say something like they are not in the US or something, but this is still not a good resume, right? Like, I did not find enough stuff that I need. I only found 4 things that I needed, 4 or 5, and you only need to have about 75% of those to move forward. So another thing is that I'm not a resident of one country, not EU or American. I'm trying to get jobs in another country. Most jobs are remote, though, so I don't see any issue. Oh, boy. They need to teach people this. This is such a common issue. Yeah, there's a huge issue with that. Most remote roles are not remote anywhere. The amount of remote from anywhere roles are very, very low, and the reason for that is tax reasons. I'm going to tell you a story. There was a candidate who we were working with, who had been working with the company for about 4 to 5 years under contract. The manager liked this person. They wanted to bring this person into the company full-time, not on contract, full-time. So part of my job during that time is I have to basically do part of that, right? They just wanted to bring them on full-time. The problem was this person was in a country where we did not have a cost center. And the reason that is a problem is if a company does not have what is called a cost center in the area that you live, we cannot pay you in that currency. And if we cannot pay you in that currency, we cannot pay you, which means we cannot hire you. So the reason you have been getting rejected, besides the fact that you have an awful resume, is the fact that you can't work there. Like, to be clear, the reason we state, are you legally authorized to work in this country, that is not just a random question. If that is a no, you cannot work there. That is why. So yes, there is a issue. There is a massive issue with that. What you need to be able to do to work in that country from these jobs is apply to contract roles or roles within that company in your area. And what will happen is they will pay you in the currency of that area. And it will probably be as an average salary for a person of your area. So don't just randomly apply to U.S. jobs. If you are not legally authorized to work in the U.S., you cannot work there. That is a hard fact. That's one of the most 100% things I can tell you. So there is a huge problem, and you are wasting your own time doing this. Now, I don't know the EU. I imagine there's an equivalency in the EU, but people in the EU can tell me differently. But at least in the United States, you need the work authorization to work before you get the job. So, saying that, let me at least pick apart your resume so that you can apply, so that when you are able to get that work authorization, or if you can at least get a position here. In theory, right now they are pulling back heavily on those. So, what I need is basically more of everything, right? So, this can be deleted. I do not need a core competency section. It should be deleted. Same thing with this summary. Summary should be deleted. Then we go down to here. This is so awkward because I cannot click on your resume and highlight things. I do not like this. Then we go down to here, and the problem is I barely have enough stuff, right? Like I found TypeScript. I think it was Angular or Next, right? One of those, or Vue. I found Vue. Oh, I'm not even looking for Vue. Vue is front end. I'm not looking for that in a full stack. I know what you're about to say. Full stack does include front end, but these are the qualifications for full stack, and Vue is not one of them. I did see Cloud, which was good, and then there was one other. I think it was just API, but there it is. And I think that was it. There might have been one more, but yeah, this is why you're not getting any traction, regardless of that. Is even if you had it, this is the stuff I'm looking for, right? Your first sentence needs to say, architected and maintained a scalable blank using TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. That's what I need for as a whatever database. And then the next stuff should be everything else. I mean, honestly, you should probably like redo almost this entire resume because there's just like nothing here I can actually use to move you forward. Except the AWS is good. But yeah, like this is what we're looking for. So once you are able, or if you are able to get the work authorization, you then need to be able to change your resume so that the formatting should look like this. All right. And this is how to do it. It's on my website. And then add the actual qualifications they want, because this is showing that you're not qualified. It just shows that you do not have the qualifications, which is what we're looking for. This is also why skill sections don't work, and why I try to avoid using the word keyword when I can. Is if it was just a keyword, this skill section would have been fine. But it's not. It's not fine because I can't use it because it doesn't show me how you used it or when you used it or the reason or result of using it. And that's why skill sections are worthless. So I do not think you should have one. And you also need to put your education up at the top. There's so many things wrong with this resume. But yeah, that's about all I can do for it right now. It's really just to have to tear it down and redo all of it. So if anybody ever needs any more help, they can join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm here to get you ahead of your job search. So let's go to the next resume. This is the resume of a GNC engineer, sort of. I actually had severe difficulty finding the exact job title for this one, and if I can't do that, I can't really find a ton of qualifications that they would need, which is why this list is very blank. You probably need a little bit more, but from what I could understand, this is a subdivision of mechanical engineering, and mechanical engineering is going to want that and MS Office. That's the core of it, and AutoCAD. So I'm going to go under the assumption, and I could be wrong, that any type of CAD and MS Office and C++, C, MATLAB, or Python are what we're looking for. There may be more, there may be a little less, but this was the best I can do, so I can at least grade this on formatting. So, can I find what I need in 20 seconds, or at least let you know what a 20-second review of this would look like? And go. Alright, summary, not needed. Way too much bolding. This doesn't need to be bolded. Nothing here needs to be bolded. Conducted literary reviews, robotics. You want to mention what you're doing. That's pretty good. Shaping message, autonomous control could be one. Nothing. Lab meetings. Okay. Developed real-time integrated flexceptors. Okay, and that's it. So, I'm going under the assumption that these are correct. These may not be, but I typically, for mechanical engineering, especially for entry level, even when you break it down into subdivisions, at its core, what it's looking for is C++ or C, or CAD, and then, or MATLAB or Python, and then maybe some MS Office, and that you did the industry that you were doing. So the fact that you said, if you're going to robotics, this is good. That is what I want to see, because we just want to see that you've worked in the same industry and in the same section of that. So this resume doesn't super work. And in fact, let me read what they said. They are a recent grad who's trying to get into aerospace and robotics, having a hard time landing interviews. So yes. And we don't know their ratio, but it's probably not very good. So the problem with this one is A, the formatting is a nightmare. And B, you don't mention some of the basic stuff, right? Like, especially the higher tech you go, the more basic your resume needs to be. Like, I know you've done stuff with like stat estimations and you know what, autonomous control may actually be one. I think I might have saw that one or two. But like key pivots that ensured timely development or delivering hardware and embedded, like I need to know more about that. Like, how did you do it? Delivered exceptional dining experience. Okay, yeah, this is not as related. So remember, the order of importance is relevancy first, right? It doesn't matter if you've got, if you only have projects, it matters what's relevant. And the second job is not really relevant, with one quick exception. And the problem is you wrote too much about it. So there is a reason you would want to include this, despite it being not related. And that is because you were there for about a year and it's only been a year and a month. 2 months. No, because you already did the undergrad research. Yeah, okay, this can be completely removed. So the reason I was saying it is because it shows you have stability, which is good, but again, you kind of also show that here. So I don't know if that's as needed, but if you do keep this, which is not the worst, make sure it only has a single line that just says, like provided customer service and handled complaints or whatever, and that's it. You're putting this in here not because of what you did was exceptional, but the fact that you lasted that long is exceptional. Then we go to the projects, the stuff I actually do care about too. Robotic, good. Again, maybe this is industry specific, but probably not. And then down here, this is the problem is, this is why bolding is bad, by the way, is you highlighted microcontrollers. I don't know if I need that or not. I do need C++. Most of them said C++. I have to go all the way down here for SolidWorks. In fact, can I even find CAD? Maybe CAD is not right. Yeah, nope, Cascade. Can I find Python? There it is, all the way down at the bottom. Like here, look, MATLAB. This is the stuff you put all the way at the bottom in your skills section that is actually necessary. I don't see MATLAB anywhere here, and that was one of the 2 qualifications. And Microsoft Office. Hold on. Like, you buried the only stuff that I would want. Microsoft. Yeah, that's it. I don't see it. So while there is probably some more stuff that you could need, that you cannot forget the basics, right? Like, remember, a resume is a basic qualification document. And part of the basics is C++. Part of the basics is just using like AutoCAD or, MATLAB and Microsoft Office. And recruiters get this too. Like, most ATSs, they kind of function the same. Unless you're like building one out by yourself, most of them function the same. But they still want us to write out ATS stuff on the resumes that we use. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a front-end engineer with some spice on it. So this is specifically a front-end engineer for New York startups. So this is going to be a little bit different than the other ones because startup culture in tech hiring is a bit different from standard other types of Fortune 500 companies, right? Startups have their own little culture. How they hire is slightly different. So this front-end software engineer is going to look different than the other ones. And again, this was specifically in New York. This may not actually translate to LA startup culture. So what we're looking for is React, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Then they really, really, really like ownership or product focus. So 0 to 1, basically, have you shipped stuff, right? Have you taken a product, shipped it from the start to the end of it? They like that. Then they like UI, UX, some RESTful APIs, And this is really hard to put, but this is something that a lot of startups like, is scrappy. They want to make sure you're not going to leave after like a month, because that happens a lot. So they want to make sure that you can handle a lot of things and maybe wear a bunch of different hats, and that you are able to take ownership, because that is primarily what they are looking for. In addition, some of them want you to be customer facing. Cloud is nice to have. Why they want it for front end, I don't know, but they wanted it. It's not my decision. I don't make these, I just find them. And CI/CD in 1 or 2. So that is what we are looking for. And again, this is specific to startups. So they're looking for a front end role in the New York area for startups. And let's see if I can find it. And this is a resume, if I remember right, of somebody I have reviewed before. So this would work for non-startups, I believe. But again, startups are a little bit different. So go. All right, led multiple front-end React TypeScript projects. Okay, that part's good. Own development of a company-wide system and component library, product teams, storybook, tailwind. Okay. AWS, Jenkins, CI/CD, component testing. Yes. So this is fine. Again, we need to tweak this a little bit for more startup. So front-end TypeScript, good. I want in Tailwind CSS can be good, but I also still want, weirdly enough, JavaScript, HTML. I still need the words JavaScript and HTML. Even for the startups, with most of them started with TypeScript, you still want a little bit of the HTML and CSS. Again, I don't know why. Part of my issue is I don't see like 0 to 100 or 0 to 1 or ownership, right? I want, instead of led, I think you would probably be able to say owned multiple front-end and React types projects, guiding our engineers on best practice for whatever, right? Then the rest of it I think is okay. It's just, there is a big thing of like pedigree of where you've come from and what you've done before in startup hiring as well. So, but it's not like you can't break into some of these companies. It's just you need to kind of wow them a little bit. And this is a case where the recruiter may not know it, but the manager would, and they still have another only 10 to 15 seconds to look at it. So I don't think this is terrible. I don't think this is bad. I just want to add, again, JavaScript and HTML to this and write this in a way that would essentially like wow a startup person. And that way it could still go through the recruiter into the startup person, and then they would understand. So I want to say like owned multiple projects, and then you can put in React, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, where I guided our engineers on our best practices for component composition, which led to X, right? They kind of want to see some of that. So is this bad? No, I don't think this is bad. I think this would get a front end role. Mostly, I am a little concerned on the lack of JavaScript here. Yeah, because it's only down there, which is, again, we want to see higher up. But yeah, I just want to see a little bit more of the wow factor, and I know that goes counter to almost everything else I said, but this is specifically to a front-end engineer that is a startup in New York. That is a very specific type of market. What they're looking for and the psychology behind it is very different. And it's not bad. It's just, you gotta show that you owned it, right? Like, I get own development of a company-wide system, but the very first word has to say it, because they're going to, unless it's another startup they know, they're going to say, well, I don't know if I know that. So you want to see owned multiple blankety, 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 blank. And then led to the development of company-wide design systems. So if anything, I would put owned in here and then led here. So yeah, is it bad? No, it's just I want you to stand the best of the chances, because everybody is applying to these. These are very, very competitive, a lot of these. And I think that's all I can do for this one. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data engineer. So what we're looking for is Python, ETL/ELT, Scala, data, algorithm, SQL, big data, Kafka, Spark, Hadoop, cloud, DataX, so basically like data models, data lakes, etc. Snowflake, Snowpipe, Snowsite, any of those is good. Ability to manage and communicate data plans to non-technical folk. Basically, almost every job requires that in the tech field, is the ability to talk tech to people that cannot turn on their monitor. Like, I'm not joking on that part. I feel like people may assume that I'm being a little hyperbolic, but I am not. And then the industry, so this is going to change, so SDLC for software or healthcare or whatever stuff for government, and then a bonus for DevOps, Jira, Confluence, and MS Office. So can I find that in 20 seconds? Let's go. Oh, this font is kind of hard to read. Spark QL SQL, good. Azure, maybe good. Cloud, BigQuery, I think is good because it's big. This is hard to read. Python, SQL, good. And I think that's it. That's as far. This might just be partly a formatting issue. But yeah, this is difficult to read. This is real difficult to read. There's also, okay. Oh, I see what part of the problem is. This is probably more of a formatting issue than almost anything I've seen. So let me read what you wrote. You're also in chat right now. I've been using this resume for the past 3 weeks and applied to about 20 jobs, but nothing. Not sure if it's the way I'm applying to jobs, late application, only LinkedIn, etc. So the answer is everything, right? Like it's everything. All of those are the issues that can be. So remember, if you apply to a job that already has like 100 people on it, you may not get seen regardless. Oh, is this in Canada? I don't know the Canadian one. This might be Canadian, in which case these are the U.S. qualifications, which may be different. I do not have the Canadian data engineer qualifications. But so with the assumption that this is U.S., yes, you do want to apply early. The faster you apply, the better your chances. Because remember, it goes in the order you applied. So if there are 200 people that apply and you're number 201 and we find who we need at applicant number 100, you're not getting seen. The second thing is your formatting is not good. So this is really hard to read, and I kind of have to squint my eyes a little bit to kind of make it out. I'm 37. My eyesight is not great. I need you all, and I have been reading resumes all day before this and all day after this. This formatting is easy on the eyes. So remember, this is 10.5 Arial, and right here, 10.5 Arial, and it's 1.5 spacing. So 10.5 Arial, 1.5 spacing. And this is not that. And the problem is, this is just a wall of text. When you're looking at this and you have 20 seconds, you can't fully look at all of this and read it because your eyes are bouncing back and around because the formatting is so small. And that is one of the problems with it. Also, a lot of this stuff is needless information. Like, I don't really care about this part. Like, you can just say built data pipelines with Spark, SQL, and Airflow to integrate our construction, financial, and IoT data sets into BigQuery and whatever, right? That powered our dashboards. I don't really care about the rest of this. You can just say they powered our dashboards. And that would alone half that sentence and make it easier to read. Then deployed data models good in cloud warehouses. BigQuery might be one that's good. That enabled real-time analytics and KPI dashboards. Good. This I don't really care about. Like, you kind of add an additional brag that makes it hard to read. Like, I didn't even get down to ETL that was down here, and I almost didn't get to this. Like, I don't... Again, people are focusing so much about cost savings. And the problem with this is it's not what they're super looking for, right? Like, they want to save money doing this, but as an example... Like, reducing variance is not what they're looking for. Cut overhead costs by an estimated $2 million. Is that good? I don't know. What if you had 2 million projects? Is that bad? What if your goal wasn't 2 million? It was 10 million. What if your goal was 30 million? I don't know because there's not a context, and I don't really care about that context. You saying I saved $2 million, cool. What if I don't want you to save us the money like that? What if I'm asking you to prevent outages or something? Like, giving me a hard number is not always a good thing, and you do that everywhere. In addition, this I almost missed. So what you should say instead of data engineer / quant developer intern, say intern and then you can do in parentheses data engineer / quant developer at pension farms. And because you want to say intern first. Because your resume is so dense, because it is so heavy, they may actually miss the intern thing buried deep here because of the formatting. And then they're just going to see this and they're going to be like, you've only been there for 3 months? Why? What's the point? Why? You're a job hopper. So this is both a formatting and a bullet point issue. In addition to me not finding a ton of stuff that I needed here. I found some of it. Do I have snow? Yeah, snowflake. Yeah, there's no way they're going to get down there. That's exactly what they want. So you need to remember the audience that is reading this. And I get so upset when people call us recruiters idiots. And not for the reason you think. I don't get mad because you think we're idiots. I get mad when you call us idiots and then write a resume that we have 15 seconds to look at that can only be decipherable by a PhD. If you think we're fools, write it like that. Use simple, boring, plain language. We will thank you. I don't care if you think I'm an idiot or not. I do want you to write to me like I am. That is the goal, okay? You want to make it simple. Like applied SDL best practices, that part's good, including agile sprint planning, CI/CD automation, which this is great. There's no way they're ever going to go all the way down that far. So you built this resume for somebody that had 2 minutes to look it over, for somebody that is technically knowledgeable, and that's your problem. Is those are the fallacies of looking for a resume. So we need you to write this simpler. It's just too technical, and the formatting is hurting it. Let's go to the next resume. This is the same resume as last time, but don't click off. There's a point I did this. So what I did is to show you how the formatting matters before I go to the next resume, which is a full stack software engineer. So this is, I'm not actually sure exactly what formatting. I think it's still Arial. But as an example, this is my formatting, which is 10.5 Arial. And then you go down here, which is the line spacing, and this is 1.5. So this, on the other hand, is 1.15. And if you can tell just from this, this is a difference in how legible this is, just from this alone. So I wanted to show everybody that before we go to the full stack resume. So full stack resume, this is, what did they say, anything? All right, nothing. So I am going to see if I can find what I need in 20 seconds, which I've done full stack on this one, so I don't need to repeat this. So away we go. LLM-based AI, Python good. AI can be a bonus to put in. Python, okay. React, Next.js, JavaScript, HTML, CSS good. Portal, develop this here back into TypeScript, Node.js, kind of already said that. SQL, okay. It's not bad. Let me go through with what I actually found to see. So AI is nice to have. Again, it's not a bonus point as AI, so we can put bonus point for AI. Then we have Python, which is good. So let's remove that because we found it. Again, it's any of those. You don't need all of them. Then we have React, which I don't actually need as much, weirdly enough. But we do want Next.js. And then we found JavaScript, CSS, HTML. That's good. Then we had SQL. And the problem is you said Azure DB, not just Azure, which I don't know if that's a difference between the two of them. So I don't know if I can actually count that as cloud. And then you did have CI/CD, but I don't think I got down that far, but you do have it. So, and REST, well, no, you said REST, not RESTful APIs. I get it. I get it. But you got to be very, very specific with your language. So is this enough? Because that counts as APIs, but not REST APIs. There's React. Brain's not working. Still very tired today. Is there anything else that I missed that you had that I actually covered in this section? I don't think so. So the problem is this is close. I don't think this is passing, but it's close to passing. So there's a couple of things we can do. One, I don't think you need this, and this is not because of where it is in India. This is mainly because electronics and communications is not something that is relevant as a CS degree. So I would actually remove this specifically, not because of where it is, but because of this part, because it's not really needed as much. I don't think anybody would actually need a electronics communications when they're going for computer science, and if that is related, we may not know it. So this can be removed. Second, you need to do the formatting here, and again, we can see this is the difference in formatting and legibility. So some of this is almost okay, but I feel like there's a slight error in it. And then I want your resume to look like this, okay? No bolding here, no bolding here, no underline here. You could have the dot here or not. That's fine. It doesn't really matter if you have the, whatever this is called. What is that called? The bullet point. My gosh, forgot the word for bullet point. So we need more stuff here. I think this is kind of the problem, is I just need a little bit more, right? Like research and design an LLM-based model. This is fine. Again, it's nice to have, but I still kind of need a little bit more. In fact, let's see, improved AI using Python. I don't know if you need this second sentence. This could be a like single sentence one. And then you don't need to tell me with an average relative error of 5%. Your entire first job in a thing can just be this, right? Research and designed LLM-based AI model using, I just don't like the word leveraging. I know everybody uses it. I personally don't. Using Python and PyTorch to predict foot pressure from multi-model input. And that would be a fine first sentence for this one. And that would be all it was needed because it's not as relevant. This is a little quick thing. They understand that this is quick, not fully full stack. And then we go to here, and this is where some of the problem starts. So, architected the front end in React, Next.js, and then JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. And then used NGINX for responsive job portal. I don't know what NGINX is. I don't think it's needed. I would instead say architected... Like, if it's full stack, we want to say full stack, right? Like, architected RX. Like, I don't actually know what this is. Like, what is this? I don't actually know. Architected our potato farming equipment. Full stack with TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and React and Next, right? That would be your first sentence. Like, for front end, you do want React, but for full stack, you want React after TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Now, if you do not have TypeScript, that's okay. The Python can kind of circumvent it, and that's fine. But I don't actually know what you did here. Like, I don't know what you like. Not like what you did at the project. I don't know what the project is. And then we have TypeScript. No, yeah. And then you can put develop the backend node. Yeah, okay. So this is weird. Like, you can say architected our front end in and then put this, and our back end in and then put this. That's fine. But I still want to know what this is. And then the rest of this, SQL is okay. I want to know, is Azure DB the same as Azure? I don't know. I'm a foolish recruiter. I do not know. They may assume that they're looking for Azure, but that's not cloud. And they may not actually know. That is entirely possible. And then here, again, we come into the same issue of built REST-based CRUD APIs. Again, I'm looking for RESTful APIs and regular APIs. Weirdly enough, APIs count for RESTful APIs, RESTful APIs count for regular APIs, but regular APIs don't count for RESTful APIs. I probably sent all of you into a fit right now with that, but I'm sorry, this is who you're probably going to be dealing with. And again, I have more tech knowledge than the average recruiter. You are looking at competency in tech recruiting. And then here, this is actually fine. Kubernetes might actually be used. Docker might be used. I don't know if containerizing is, but Jenkins could be and CI/CD is. So this is actually fine. The big thing is you really lose me here, and then you lose me, I think, around here as well. So that's the biggest problem. Now, I will say, again, obviously, if you are needing immigration services, you are in a very uphill climb right now because of the climate. That is really brutal because of the new H-1B laws. And companies are pulling back on hiring, even if you're in an OPT. It's real bad out there right now. So that's all I can do for this one. to summarize, it has some formatting issues, and it does have most of what I want, but it could use a little bit more. Again, not a tear it down and restart from scratch, just need a little bit more and a little bit better formatting. Let's go to the next resume. This is the resume of another full stack, so y'all know the qualifications by now, and honestly, I should be memorized them, but whatever. I should have had them memorized by now. So, can I find it in 20 seconds? Let's find out, or shall it be yeeted? Okay, perfect. Well, too long, but right idea. Formatting's off, hard to read. Front-end features with React. Okay, React is good. UI components, RESTful API, Python, API SQL, Docker, backend troubleshoot, CI/CD is good. GitHub is set. Okay, so is this formatting great? No. Is this a pass? No, but I don't think it's going to take you a long time to fix it. It's not actually terrible. It's like, this is not bad. It's not good. I don't know if it's good enough to get an interview. Although, admittedly, again, I don't know how anybody international is going to get a position considering the laws right now, but that's not really a resume issue. That is a law issue and a political issue. So, I have not started applying for jobs yet, but I'm planning on starting soon. I wanted you to review my resume, applying with the best resume I have. The spacing might be off, but the original version was built around your guide. I'm trying to prepare for my job hunt, which is I'm planning to start around October to secure a software engineer position by May 2026, which is when you graduate. Okay, I'm open to any suggestions, actively watching content, trying to improve. So this is as an international student. So I previously said I don't know if you should apply to jobs that late, but I asked the council of recruiters, basically I asked a bunch of other recruiters, and it seems there are some companies that do hire that far in advance. They seem to be related entirely to new grad roles and very, very big companies. So if you are applying to a company with like less than 200 people or maybe less than 1,000, I think you would be applying too early. But if you're applying to very, very, very big companies like, you know, Walmart or Amazon or what's a big company, or PepsiCo, they do in fact probably have a position for you that far out in advance because you graduate in 2026. So, and it's not like you shouldn't apply to other jobs. I just don't want you to get discouraged when you're not getting anything because, again, most companies hire 3 months in advance at best. But some very big companies for entry-level positions, specifically like software engineers and mechanical engineers, do in fact hire like 9 months out. It's rarer, but it does occur at the bigger levels. So, with that said, let's fix this. This was very close to being correct. You actually don't need this part. You don't need to say summary. You don't need to say international student with prior full stack engineering. That actually can be deleted safely. All you need to say is eligible to work in the US for up to 3 years under OPT without requiring sponsorship or work by the company. Right? Maybe not work by the company, but that's it. That's all I'm asking in the summary. This part, I don't care about the part I highlighted. The part after I highlighted, that's how you write it. Although you don't want to say just United States, you want to say the location that you are applying to, because again, relocating is a yellow flag. So this should, I know the formatting messed up and you said it was right on yours. That's actually fine. I think that bullet points would make this a little more legible, but this is okay. And then we go down here. Something is slightly off about this formatting. I'm not sure what it is, but Maryland. And then we get down here, right? Brain just stopped. And let me find what I found. So I found React, which was good. I found UI, which is a bonus. Again, nice to have, but not necessary as much. I've got RESTful APIs, which is good. We've got Python, which this whole section can go away because you only need one of them. We've got, well, no, you said Python Flask, not Python. That might not actually count. You may just want to say Python. SQL we have, and what am I missing? And we have Docker, could be nice to have, but not requirement. And CI/CD is nice and good. We want CI/CD, and Git, which is down here, as a bonus. So the problem is, if you're going for full stack, I feel like I'm a broken record here, people. I need TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. 1,000% I need that. I need that up front and right there. I need that right here. Built R blank using JavaScript, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I need that. And then I'm also missing Node. Maybe it's further down, but I wasn't able to because there's something off about this formatting. But no, it's not on the resume. What about Angular? No, not in the resume. What about Next.js? Nope, not in the resume. GraphQL? Nope. And you don't need all of those, but I would like at least one of them. What about AWS or cloud? Let's see, is there any cloud here? No. Maybe it's under GCP or it's under Azure. Nope, no cloud. Really do want cloud. Agile? Nope. Cross-functional? Let's see. Cross? No. 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 So that's part of the problem with this is you have most of what I need, but you don't have all of what I need. And if you can look, this is clean, this is not. And again, maybe it just messed up the formatting when you sent it to me, but you want it to look more like this, which you do have this part right. And that's why I was able to read like all the way down here. So the easier it is for your resume to read, the farther down I can go. But you are missing like this stuff. And primarily, if you apply to a full stack job and you don't say TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, you're probably not going to get it. It's just really, really, really common and really, 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 really needed. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a person that has doxed themselves. Stop doxing yourselves. I feel like every single episode somebody has doxed themselves. I don't need your phone number. I don't need your email. In real life, when I ask for your resume through Indeed or LinkedIn, I will need that stuff. But for this, the reviews, I do not need that. This is a back-end engineer. They did not tell me anything about themselves besides their ratio is terrible, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview. So which is like over 150. Like my thing stops at over 150 because if it's anything over 150, we need to fix a lot. So what do I want in a Python backend developer? Python, SQL, any of them, Docker, cloud, and its words. So like AWS would be EC2, and I don't know what they are off the top of my head over Azure and GCP. RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and then one of these. So full stack, AI, including NumPy, ML, that kind of stuff. DevOps or fast APIs, Flask, and Django. Bonus points for Kubernetes, ETL, MongoDB, and Java. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Probably not. And also I cannot scroll from this page because you doxed yourself. So 20 seconds. Let's go. I don't care that you cut spending. Redis I'm not looking for. CI/CD I am. What is this? Why do I need this? What is this? Golang to Python. Okay, that one may be specific. Python, SQL. Okay, yeah, definitely doesn't. Also, I think this person is not in the US. So, if they are trying to get a remote job, then see the first resume review of this video, and that again, you need to have the work authorization, which maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but you just did not tell me, and that's the problem. I need to know to review your resume. I need context. I cannot review it in a vacuum. If I review it in the vacuum, it nothing matters. Resumes are specific. Applying for a job is a very specific thing. If you are too generalized, if you are too broad, it does not work. So, regardless of that, this resume has almost nothing I need. Again, I only see Python and I only see CI/CD and SQL. That's it. Where is the Docker or cloud or RESTful APIs or Git or CI/CD or any of the other things like full stack or AI or DevOps or Django? I have nothing. This resume is almost blank to me. And you also put a huge summary at the very beginning, which I cannot use. So that's all I can do for this resume. Again, there's really just nothing here, and you did not give me any context. So I can't help you anymore besides saying your formatting is very bad. You know what? Actually, I'm going to take that back. Your formatting is not the worst. It's not good, but there's way worse formatting you can use. But the bigger issue is, again, I need these. These are the qualifications. If you do not show me you have these, it means you are not qualified. Even if you have them, you need to show them. You cannot imply them. So that's all I can do for this video. Thank you all for watching very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST, where I help you get ahead of your job search.